Hey everybody, this is Anne Blount coming in with my Where I Write segment, and I think as soon as it goes live, and then I'll switch the view around. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to give me a call, oh my goodness, I guess I'm nervous. Give me a shout out, and I'll try my best to answer it on here. So I'm just going to really quick go on to Wattpad where I already have my post ready. I'm also going to go ahead and put it on my Facebook page. So I'm super excited to be doing this today. I got an email from Caitlin at Wattpad, and I've been thinking about what I'm going to show you ever since then. So basically, perfect. It is all sorted and ready to go. So I'm going to switch around to view of my space, which is where I write. So I'm just going to give you a quick view. So this is my bedroom, and this is where I do the majority of my writing. And of course I always have some of my furry friends here with me. This is Rooney, named after Wayne Rooney, footballer. And my cat Cookie. And then of course my beautiful view. So this definitely plays a big part, and we'll go outside in a little bit, but this plays a big part in my writing. So I'm going to do a quick little flip. Hello! So, like I said, Anne Blount for Where I Write for Wattpad, and I just want to talk to you guys a little bit today and show you around my room and what inspires me to write, some of my favorite books, and I'm going to read a little excerpt from under for you. So I'm going to switch you back for just a minute. So one of the things that's most important is obviously my computer. Definitely important. I've written actually all of my novels on this computer right here. Definitely a big fan of Apple and Mac. And when I'm writing, I find that I'm like very easily influenced by movies, and I gain inspiration from them, and books. So I think what's really important is to show you who gave me the courage to do a lot of my writing, and that's Amanda Hocking. So I read this series, her Trill series, and it was at that point that I said, you know what, I think I can do this. I think I can write a book. I'm going to give it a try. So because of Amanda Hocking's back in 2012, I started writing my very first book, which was Grishma. So that was super exciting. So in addition to Trill, I have several books. Ooh, sorry guys, a little shaky. I have several books that really have inspired me over the years. Let me go ahead and show you some more. So some of you might laugh, but some of you might really remember this. Sweet Valley High. Anyone? So The Magic Christmas was one of my favorite books growing up of all time. It was so cool. It was definitely fantasy. They went into a different world. There were unicorns and a charming prince. So I was definitely a huge fan. And oh, I see someone just said yes. You know it. You know what's up. One of my favorite books of all time. Then what I'm currently reading, I always have a really big stack of books on my nightstand. Sarafina and the Black Cloak. I'm super excited. This is an ARC, an advanced reader copy. Super pumped about that, by Robert Beatty. He's another author that lives in Asheville, so that's exciting. And then of course, I always keep one of my own books on my nightstand. Grishma was the first book I ever published, and it was really exciting. Definitely a big moment for me. And then as a former teacher of children with special needs, this is one of the books that I keep around for reference. I just like to read it from time to time, certain segments and chapters. Children with disabilities. So I know a lot of you have some questions, so please feel free to ask questions as I'm going through this. Something else that I always keep near when I'm writing, so the remote, I have kind of a setup that I like. I really like to have a show on that I've already seen before. So entire series like Bones, I've watched Closer, a number of those, even some Criminal Minds, which kind of gets too scary. but I keep that on in the background when I'm writing, and it definitely just kind of serves as white noise, but it's also just, if I need a break, I can get up and watch it and you know, wiggle around and get back to writing. Also for snacks, favorite candy of all time, grape and strawberry nerds. I like to keep those on hand. From my good friend Jessica B. Fry from Wattpad, lip moisturizer. And I have a thing about smells, very sensory, so I really like to have either some perfume or some spray around at all times. And then of course I always keep my Wattpad mug by my nightstand because it's one of my favorites. And then I also have some different things that I wanted to show you. Rooney is, oops, sorry guys. Rooney's taking a little nap by it. So one thing that I get a lot of really fantastic, sweet compliments on is my use of sensory descriptions and language. And this poster, so like I said, I used to be a teacher, and this came from a teacher who was going to throw it away, and I was like, no, don't do it. But it's called Be More Descriptive, and so it's made for little kids. However, as an author, I use it all the time. That instead of said is really important. Instead of walked, also super important. All these different synonyms that you can use are fantastic. And you know what? There's other sites out there like Word Hippo that I use a lot as well. And sites like that just help you get out of the habit of using the same descriptive words all the time. And I think it's super important when you're writing to really go ahead and share sensory details with your audience, because when you're sharing those sensory details, they can picture themselves being in the story that you're writing much easier. So I have someone that just said, what's that? So this is a poster that I guess one of my teaching friends got at a most likely a teacher store or online, and it's got some activities on the back, be more descriptive, and a resource guide. So it's really probably for kids in like 3rd through 5th grade. But you can always, always, always use tools. It doesn't matter who they are made for. If they work for you, use them. Oh, someone said my dog's so cute. Thanks. He's precious. I love him so much. Cookie's enjoying. I've seen it there. What's my favorite descriptive word? Ooh, I really like the word nefarious. I like menacing. Like lots of words that have synonyms to the word evil, because lately I've written a lot of really dark and scary stories. So yeah, thank you. Great question. Okay, some of the other things that I have here. So when I write in my pajamas. So I don't have them on for you today, but I did keep out one of my shirts. And this is one of my shirts that I write in a lot. And it says, it says, shut the front door. I really like that saying too. I think it's pretty funny. So I get a kick out of writing and wearing that. I've also got some notes here from the corner booth. I've been on twice, which is pretty exciting. Talking about diversity and talking about the Wattpad block party. So I always like to keep notes handy ahead of time just so I know about what I'm going to be talking about and about what I'm going to be doing. Definitely a positive. Now this right here, this is kind of where it all started for me. When I first started writing Grishma, I did something that I really recommend you all do, which is joining a critique group, a writing critique group. And you can just Google it and find different critique groups. I found mine through a writing organization I was a part of. But what I did is I joined, and every 2 weeks, 3 other girls and myself exchanged about 20 pages. And as you can see, so this is one of the pages prior to professional editing. And one of my friends went through and, said, start a new paragraph here. And, as he held to holding, like just some of her suggested changes. And this really helped not only motivate me to write and keep writing quicker and just to do my very best while writing, but also it helped me tremendously with my grammar and story setup, because the girls that I was in the critique group with had already written at least one novel. So that was super exciting. So I highly recommend critique groups. Like I said, I couldn't, oh, someone said I'm going to try and find one. That's an awesome idea. Definitely recommend joining a critique group and just having someone there to support you while you're writing, to bounce ideas off of. It's super important to me. So I definitely highly recommend that you all do that for sure. And then I'm going to double tap so you can see me. Hello. So basically, my writing space is my bedroom. Sometimes I write on the living room, or every now and then I might try and write outside, because like I said, I get a lot of inspiration from living in Asheville, North Carolina, in the mountains. And if you see, a lot of my stories will involve settings and places that I've lived before. So I definitely like to incorporate that in. So I'm going to take you outside right now and show you the beautiful scenery in person. Excuse me, double tap. Okay, I'll give you a view this way. So this is my beautiful view. Definitely really moving, really powerful. It's a beautiful place to be. Someone said beautiful. Aw, thank you. I feel so lucky, so blessed to be here and to be able to look out as I'm writing, and just to have this view every day. It's just incredible. And I like to, like I said, incorporate mountains and, you know, these landforms that you see in front of you, lush green trees. I love to incorporate that in my writing. And it's definitely a big part of getting those sensory details together, is just looking outside and thinking, how would I describe this to someone? How would I tell them about what an amazing place this is? You know, so I think about those descriptive words, and I love it here. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. So it was kind of a quick, sweet, short where I write. Tap you back around. Hello. And I'm just wondering now if anybody has any questions or anything that I can answer for you. If so, please type them in now. Oh, I see another person just joined. Hello to our new viewers. Anne Blount here for Where I Write. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in. Oh, we have one more friend. That's another one of my kitties. Okay, someone just asked where I got the inspiration for Under. Well, basically, I had finished Captured, and it had been really successful, and I was so grateful for everyone on Wattpad for being so supportive, that I thought, I'd like to write another story, another like dark thriller horror novel. However, I wanted to put a twist on it, and my twist was to involve a stalker. And I really like the show Stalker on TV, and I thought, yeah, I need to get something in there. I need really like suspenseful moments. I need really intense ending to my chapters, and I just want to try and get people to join that way, and really be as enthralled with Under as they were Captured. So that is how I got my inspiration for Captured. Someone just wrote in and said, are you going to be writing any more books? So I definitely plan on writing a lot more books. I absolutely love reading, and I love writing. So I will be actually working on the third book in the Nicole saga, which is Grishma, Ayla, and then the third book is what I'm working on right now. I also have a sequel to Impassioned, another book that I wrote that's coming out, as well as Under. So Yeah, there's a lot going on. Captured is actually out for submissions right now, so fingers crossed one of the amazing publishers that has it picks it up and decides to publish it. And then I also have a super exciting announcement, but I can't make it yet. I can't tell you yet, sorry, but soon, okay, I promise, regarding Captured. So I've definitely I've been so blessed and so lucky to have so many people who have really enjoyed the book and loved it and commented on it, and actually recently put up an alternative ending that a lot of people were asking for. A lot of my readers and fans were asking for an alternative ending. So for my Wattpad block party post, I posted the alternative ending, so please feel free to go check that out. And I've got just a little reading quick. Are there any more questions? I can take a few more before I just do a short reading of Under. Okay, I've got one in my Twitter inbox, and someone said, where do you find inspiration for your stories? So, you know, really, truly, anything from a picture to just seeing someone walking down the street can be really inspiring. And I love to take pictures, and I take pictures of a lot of different people and scenes and settings, and anything that inspires me, from a beautiful tree to you know, a couple walking down the street. I also go on like Dollar Photo Club, where I buy a bunch of my pictures for my promotions. And you know, just seeing someone's eyes, what color their eyes are, might just click and inspire me to create a character after them. Someone just said, how long have you wanted to start writing for? So I have always loved writing. When I was a little girl, I wrote a story. I was about 8 years old, and I wrote a story that was about 24 pages long about a whale and the effects of pollution in the ocean. And so I just remember being so excited that I created this story, this amazing story, and I had illustrations to go with it. And I thought to myself, wow, even as, you know, 8 years old, I would love to be able to do this one day for a living. It's so exciting. It's so fun. And so from that point on, I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote, and I loved it. I loved it. And, you know, when I went into university, I had to do a lot of writing of papers. So unfortunately, my time to write and be creative kind of diminished. And then shortly after university, I moved to the Cayman Islands, and I was teaching 1st and 3rd grade down there. And so being my first teaching jobs, I didn't have a ton of spare time either. So when I moved back to the States is when I first got really serious about writing a book. Like I said, I read Amanda Hocking's Trill trilogy, and I thought, you know what? I really want to do this. I think I can do it, and I'm just going to go for it. So I joined that critique group, and I finished the book in about 6 months, which is really exciting. Are there any other questions? Oh, okay. So I've got another one on Twitter in my inbox, and some people who know me well ask why I write scary books when I'm so scared of everything. So this is truly and honestly a real life fact. I am petrified of like everything. I'm scared of the dark. I'm scared of I don't know, just reading scary things in the news freaks me out. I can't read super scary books. I've had my friend April Baker's The Ghost Files on my Kindle for like, I don't know, probably 2 years now, and I just get super freaked out when I read it. And I recently entered an urban legend story for a competition, and I got so freaked out writing it that I didn't sleep that night. So I don't know. I was speaking to a good friend about it, and what she thought was that maybe since I'm in control when I'm writing. It's not as scary for me. And I definitely don't put like a ton of guts and gore and bloody, all of that in my story. Mine are more like a psychological dark thriller. I think more like the way Gillian Flynn wrote Gone Girl. Like, it's a terrifying book, and you just really get in the character's head, as opposed to seeing all of the yucky, bloody, gory stuff that goes on at the end. But I'm definitely super scared. People at work think it's really funny to like creep around my office and jump out and scare me. Also not a big fan of that. So yeah, if you ever meet me, please be nice. Don't scare me. I don't like it at all. Ugh. Are there any other questions? Okay, I think that's all for now. If you have one, definitely keep writing it in or send it to me. Let me refresh my Twitter. You can send it to me at Kelly Anne Blount on Twitter. Oh my goodness, I have 14 notifications. Let me make sure I didn't miss any. Okay, I think we're good to go. Oh, someone just, Tanisha said, always have an old show on while I'm writing to background noise. Won't make me, oh. Sorry, that's Biscuit. She said background noise, but won't make me stop writing because it's new. For sure. Sometimes if I put on a new show that I'm like, I won't pay attention to it. I find myself staring, and after like 45 minutes and 3 words written, it's kind of disappointing. But every now and then, sometimes it's important just to watch a show that you want to, and I don't know, just kind of zone out. That's okay too. Zoe said, who inspires your characters? Do you ever base them off of real people? Yeah, definitely. And I like to pick up traits of my favorite even TV characters or people in movies, or traits that I see people doing in real life, and I like to incorporate them into my writing. So that's always for me, it's all about visualizing it. So I'll close my eyes and I'll think about the person's eye color. I'll think about, if they bite their lip a lot, or I'll think about if they have some kind of unique characteristic, and I'll try and incorporate that into my book. I was sitting at Subway once, and I saw this man. He had the most beautiful eyes in the world, and I felt really funny about asking him if I could take a picture, so I didn't. But when I went home, I ended up writing the character in with the same color eyes, and I was like, oh yeah, thanks man at Subway, that's awesome. So that's always super helpful for me. And then I also find, and I talked a little bit about this on the corner booth, so I also find that depending on my mood, it definitely impacts my writing. So for example, if I've had a really long day and I'm super stressed out or super tired or something like that, then it tends to reflect in my characters. And one day I came home and I was really upset about something, and I killed 3 people in the book I was working on. So I think how an author is feeling at any one given time can definitely impact their writing, and that's especially true for me because yeah, like I said, if I have a rough day, I'm more likely to kill a character or have something really traumatic happen to my main character. So, eek! But it goes the other way too. So if I'm having, a really wonderful day, then, maybe my characters will be a little sweeter to each other and hopefully not be too violent. Someone just said, wow. I know. Yeah, that's one good thing about writing kind of scary books, I guess, that I'm in control of, those dark thrillers, is that things like that can happen, and you just gotta roll with the punches. So someone said, what gave you the idea for Captured? You know, I owe everything Wattpad related to my good friend April Baker, like for real. So April is a good friend of mine, and she said, Kelly, you have to get on Wattpad. And I was like, what's Wattpad? And she's like, it's this great site. Millions of people go on for reading and writing, and they post their stories. You should go on there. You should post them your stories. So I was like, well, all right, I'll give it a try. So I knew that April writes really scary books like the Ghost Files. So I was like, wow, I'm going to try and push myself. I'm going to try and like go outside of my genre that I feel comfortable with, which is like young adult fantasy or new adult contemporary romance. I'm going to push outside and I'm going to give it a try. So I started thinking about like, what's the creepiest thing that I can think about writing without getting too scared. So the answer was Captured, and I just had this scene like playing in my head about this girl being terrified and, you know, like running down this alley. And so that's how I got the very beginning of Captured. And I won't give any spoiler or I won't give any clues out or anything because I don't want to do any spoiler alerts, but definitely parts in it had me thinking like, what in the world? Why are you writing this? What's going on? This is really evil. So sometimes even I think what I'm writing is a little bit evil. So yeah, but I definitely like it. Ooh, I've got two. If you ever read, oh, hey, thanks, Zoe. Thanks for the shout out. It said, if you've ever read Captured on Wattpad, hop onto Periscope right now to talk to Kelly Anne Blount. Yes, please. I'm going to retweet you right now. Okay, so I'm going to read you a little bit of Under. Ooh, one last question. Okay, what helps you organize your stories? Okay, so here's the real truth. Sometimes I'm super organized and I will get out a notebook or the back of an envelope, whatever I can find. Sometimes I'll find, I'll really try and plot out my stories and my chapters. So I might plot like 2 or 3 chapters in advance, and I'll try and give the main points of what's going to happen in the chapter. And then I might also include some specific things that I want characters to do and or say. However, and this is so honest, sometimes I just sit down and write. That's what I did with Grishma. I just sat down and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and the stories just come to me. So definitely I find that sometimes being super organized can be really helpful and can, you know, help progress the story really quickly. And then other times when I sit down, I find that inspiration there, and I just don't even if I have a plan, I don't stick to it. I just start writing and write and write and write and write some more. So that definitely is, I think, up to each writer. Staying organized can definitely help and make sure that you keep on point and you keep what you want to happen in your story happen, and helps you avoid some pitfalls too of, you know, writing your characters into a corner, or you know, just having a plot that doesn't go somewhere. Definitely having a beginning, middle, and end thought. Like for Under, I have the most epic ending ever, and I seriously cannot wait to type those words and then have everyone be like, what? So but between what happens between then and now is just loosely plotted. So definitely up to each author, but I recommend doing whatever works best for you. I know a lot of my friends put up storyboards, which are really cool, and kind of plot out a timeline. So that's definitely one thing to check out too. I would definitely Google writing organization skills and tools, and you'll come up with a ton of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit of Under, and then I think I'm going to sign off in case anyone else has any other questions. Feel free to ask him. Okay. 27-year-old Hadley Jasper had been reported missing. Last seen entering her apartment complex by a neighbor Friday night, Hadley was reported alone wearing her work attire. Hadley's mother reports that her daughter did not answer her calls Saturday or Sunday morning. When her daughter missed the family's weekly Sunday night dinner, Mrs. Jasper called the police. After searching Hadley's apartment, police made a disturbing discovery. A single acuntium flower, commonly referred to as wolfbane or monkshood, has been found under her bed. As many of you know, this flower was found under the bed of Bianca Cunningham and London Priest. Their mutilated bodies showed up 5 days later in Pisgah National Forest. FYI, the mountain I was showing you is Mount Pisgah in the background. So, see, I'm writing it, I'm seeing it, it's happening. Okay, sorry, I'll keep going. At this time, detectives are urging if anyone has any information to please step forward and call the tip line, which is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. They're also advising young women to be extremely cautious when out alone in the community. More to come on this breaking story as it develops further. So I started out with a news broadcast. I thought it was a really cool idea, and it was actually inspired by an idea I had to promote Captured, and my good buddy Jonathan Yanez actually made me, he pretended to be a reporter and made me a missing segment for Adriana Vega. So I thought it was such a cool idea. I wanted to start out under the same way. So I'm just going to read you a little bit more now. So this goes back in time a little bit to 2 weeks earlier. Oops. Sorry. So one other thing before I start reading, I really like to switch point of views. And so I find what really helps, and this was pointed out on Wattpad, is to indicate the point of view at the top. So this is from Caden. Her face looked so peaceful as she slept. The corners of her full lips turned up slightly, as if she was in the middle of a happy dream. Her shoulder-length dark brown hair framed her face and splayed out on the pillow. I reached over and paused. I wanted so desperately to run my thumb across the faint freckles smattered across her cheeks. It took almost all of my self-control to pull my hand back. Don't wake her. Hovering over her slumbering body, I leaned down and inhaled her sweet scent. Lavender and vanilla. I had watched her apply the lotion every night this week. Bending down, I brushed my lips lightly against her forehead. See you later, Hadley. After getting home, I put my feet up on the padded ottoman and took a sip of my vodka tonic. The liquid slid down my throat and warmed my stomach. Closing my eyes, I laid my head against the soft leather back of the chair and took a deep breath. Busy day tomorrow, I thought to myself. Body pump after work, then appointment with Dr. Charlie, all followed by coffee with Scarlett. I exhaled and remained in the overstuffed chairs. Most girls would die for this kind of attention, I thought to myself. After a few moments had passed, I opened my eyes and looked around my apartment. Pictures of Hadley sat on the small end table between the chair and the sofa. Her small, fragile smile tugged at my soul. She had already lost so much. My eyes left the picture momentarily, sweeping over to her sweatshirt. It lay draped across the bookcase in my entryway. Swinging my feet off the ottoman and pushing myself out of the chair, I stood up and stretched. My feet brushed along the carpet as I made my way to her sweatshirt. I picked it up and buried my face in the cotton blend. Goosebumps snaked up the back of my neck. Her scent was intoxicating. I found the urge to slip the Appalachian State sweatshirt over my head. Inhaling slowly, and I paused and enjoyed the moment before letting a big sigh out. The corners of my lips twitched. Hadley, you drive me crazy. So that's all I'm going to read of that book. I hope I piqued your interest and that you might want to check it out. It's on Wattpad right now exclusively. So go on over and check it out. Yeah, and I think that's it. So everyone, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me during my Where I Write segment. It's been a blast. Thank you so much for all of your awesome questions, and thank you to Wattpad for this awesome opportunity. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it, and if you ever have any questions, reach out to me on Wattpad, KellyanneBlount.com, goodness, and Kellyanne Blount is my username. My website is KellyanneBlount.com, but feel free to reach out to me on Wattpad, Twitter, Facebook. I'm there, and I love interacting with my fans. So thank you so much, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.